Welcome to Booked, Busy, and Building, the podcast for dreamers, doers, and everyday people making it happen. Whether you're building a business, a mindset, or a better version of yourself, this is your space to stay grounded, get inspired, and keep growing no matter how full your calendar gets. So if you're chasing your dreams and figuring it out as you go, this is your space to stay motivated and keep building. So tune in every week for new episodes. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Booked, Busy, and Building. Today, we are going to be talking all about why you should always move in silence, no matter what it is that you are doing. Something I've noticed a lot on social media, and especially in this generation, is that I feel like a lot of people tend to overshare. And it's almost like oversharing has become the norm, and it's almost like people feel really pressured to announce their every move so that people can know what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're working on, and know like, okay, this person is doing this person's doing that. And while there's nothing wrong with asking people for their opinions on things or even just putting your progress out there, there is a difference between building in public and doing in public versus constantly announcing what it is that you're going to do and then never actually doing anything. Like, there is so much power truly in keeping certain things quiet, keeping certain plans to yourself, and most importantly, your next steps. Like, those should be things that you always keep within you. Moving in silence with your goals or with your plans honestly just means protecting your energy, protecting your focus and your progress from any kind of unnecessary external noise. And when you just go out and do something versus constantly announcing, there is no room for external opinions. Like, no one can really say what it is that they think. And this is something that I've been learning a lot as I get older, is that constantly announcing or saying the things it is that you're going to do can really hurt you in the end. Like, for example, one of my goals is to be in Forbes 30 under 30. And even though this is not something that I keep private and I do make content about it and I make it public, the difference is that in my content, when I talk about me doing it, I am very confident in the fact that I know it's going to happen. So even when I post a TikTok and I'm like, I'm going to be on Forbes 30 under 30 and this is how, and then I talk or I show the steps about how I'm going to get there, that is completely different from saying, I think I'm going to be on Forbes and I don't know, like, we're going to see if that's going to happen. Like, I don't make any room for external opinions because I'm very confident in the way that I talk about certain business goals and I actually make progress towards it. And a lot of people just talk and talk, or they just post about what they're going to do and never actually do it. And so because of that, and because I've been kind of going through this next step with my business and my social media, I wanted to do a whole podcast episode about why keeping certain things private can make you more productive and just way more unstoppable in the long run. So let's dive in. Number one is knowing that there is power in keeping your goals private. Like I mentioned in the introduction, you can build in public, you can show your progress in public, but there is also so much power in keeping specific things to yourself, no matter what it is that you want to do. Whether you have a business or you are doing social media or whatever it is, like, even if it's a personal goal that really means a lot to you, having this in private can really, really help, because when you talk so much about your plans, or when you're constantly just putting it out there and then not doing anything behind the scenes, you're just going to drain that motivation. You're going to drain that energy to want to actually go out and do that thing. And you're also really letting other people's opinions get in the way of what it is that you want to do. Something that I noticed, especially when I was younger, is when my friends and I would talk about certain things it is that we wanted to accomplish or certain things it is that we wanted to do, I feel like my ideas or my dreams were always very out there, and to some people they seem very unrealistic or they seem really, really far-fetched. But to me, I'm like, no, like, I've always wanted this ever since I was a kid. I've always wanted this to happen. And when I would talk about it with certain people, they would try to steer me away from that thing, or they would try to be like, oh, I don't know if you're going to be able to do that. And it wouldn't even just be with my goals or things it is that I wanted to accomplish, but it would literally be with like anything it is that was really big and out there. Like, I remember I had wanted to buy a designer bag. I was literally in high school and like there was no way I was buying that, but that was one of my dreams, something that I wanted to do when I got older. And I was talking about it with a friend, and they were basically just like, you know, I don't know if that's a good idea, or this, that, like just basically giving me room to doubt myself and doubt that it could happen. And I was like, no, like, I'm gonna make a separate bank account or I'm going to make a separate savings account, and I'm going to put a little bit of money from my checks like every few weeks to add to that savings, because there was this purse that I really wanted. Like, I think it was this Prada bag, and I was like, I'm going to save for it. And like, I literally had this plan, and this friend was like, no, like trying to convince me not to do it. And ever since then, and also just other really weird interactions with people that are no longer in my life, I was just like, I'm going to start keeping things private no matter what it is. Like, whether it's as silly as like, oh, a designer bag that I want to buy, or something as big as like, I want to pay off my mom's mortgage, I want to buy a house by this age, etc. Like, whatever it is, there is just truly so much power in keeping things to yourself and really avoiding that external influence, that external opinion, because that is when things really start to get in your head. And another reason why I think it's also really important to keep certain things to yourself is because you don't want people to convince you or make you doubt that what it is that you want cannot happen. A lot of people will literally try to convince you that what it is that you want to do is not possible, it's too out of this world, you're not being realistic. But the truth is, like, you truly can do whatever it is that you want. You can accomplish anything it is that you want in this life. You just have to go out there and do it. You need to make sure that your dreams and your goals have steps with it. And if there is no steps or there's no plan for what it is that you want, then it's going to remain a dream for the rest of your life. So instead of constantly talking about what it is that you want to do, when you keep to yourself, it's just you and that goal, and you are just going to work towards it very steadily, but you know that it's just between you and that goal, and no one else has any power over it. And I think that always keeping that within yourself and always having that privacy will always benefit you in the long run. Number 2 is protecting your energy and your focus. I also mentioned a little bit of this in the introduction, but when you constantly have these public announcements, or when you're constantly putting these things out there, it is inviting, like I said, those unsolicited opinions, and those can be things that can distract you. When people want to tell you certain things, when people try to put their opinions or their thoughts or their I think pieces into what it is that you want to do, that is when you can really start to get distracted. Like, I remember in college, there were so many things that I knew I wanted to accomplish, and especially within social media, because that was when I was first getting into posting and being very consistent and just making it a goal of mine to like show up every single day on my pages. When I was really starting to get into that whole social media world, I had people have certain opinions about what it is that I'm doing. And the thing is, the less that you show or the less that you talk about it, the less people are going to want to be invited into that. When fewer people know your plans, you are avoiding all of that outside doubt. You're avoiding that negativity. And in the end, it's just going to help you because you're conserving your mental energy to start executing things and taking action, instead of always having to use that energy to defend your ideas or to tell people like, no, it's going to work because of this, no, it's going to work because of that. Like, you do not need to explain to anybody what it is that you want to do or where it is that you want to be in life or what you want to accomplish. Like, it is literally between you and your goal and God or whatever it is that you believe in. Like, no one else really needs to know. So the less that people know, the better. And you can use that energy towards actually going towards what it is that you want. And when you work in silence, there's also way less pressure to want to overperform or want to be showing everybody like the progress it is that you're making, because that's the other thing too, is the more that people know certain things, the more that you feel like you have to work faster to make these things happen. Like, if you tell someone, okay, I want to be a millionaire, or I want to pay off my mom's mortgage, or I want a successful business, they are going to doubt you, and they're going to be like, yeah, they're not going to make this happen. And a year is going to pass, 2 years are going to pass, 3 years are going to pass, and they're just going to keep saying, yeah, I was right, yeah, I was right, yeah, I was right, when in reality, like, you've just been building this whole time. Versus if no one knows, they're not going to keep that silent tab on you. They're not going to keep thinking, oh yeah, she didn't accomplish this, he didn't make this happen, it's already been 3, 4, 5 years. Like, those kinds of people, they have these imaginary timelines, and they're like, if this person doesn't accomplish it by this time, then they're a failure, or what they said was never going to happen. You see, I was right. When you're really just building something that is for your life and you don't have a timeline on it, that's the difference between you and all of these other people, is that you're not working towards getting something accomplished by a deadline. You are working towards whenever the day is that all of the things it is that you want are finally going to happen. So have your focus on your progress. Don't try to feel like You need to prove yourself constantly to other people because, like I said, that is how I always felt when I would tell so-called friends or people in my life, is I would feel like I have to prove, like, no, I'm going to do this. Yeah, I'm going to do it. And it's almost like you have to defend your dreams or your ideas or what it is that you want. And it's like, you should not have to feel that way. So when you protect your energy, when you protect your focus, you can use all of that time. You can use all of that into taking action on what it is that you want. Number 3 is you avoid premature validation. So this basically means when you share things super early, when you put things out there way too soon or too fast, you almost get this false sense of accomplishment. And I am literally speaking from true experience when I say this. Like, when I would accomplish things or when I would put things out there and people would say certain things or I would look for that validation, a lot of the times we look for that because we want other people to validate us and what it is that we're doing. Like, we want to share things so people can be proved, oh yeah, like she actually is doing it. When in reality, like, it doesn't matter. Like, we should not want other people's validation. We should not want them to be like, oh yeah, she is working, she is doing it. Like, I used to feel like that growing up, that I needed to get people to think or feel a certain way about what it is that I was doing and be valid and validate me. And it's like, no, like, if I'm doing something, it's literally just because I want to. It should not be because I want other people to be like, oh yeah, like she's actually doing it. And when you get this premature praise, or like when you get all of these things and want all this validation from people, that can almost like hurt your motivation to want to finish and go all the way towards the end. Like, because I know what it is that I want to accomplish in my life, and because I know the really big things that is that I want to do, I don't let people know that, because I don't want people to put me on this timeline or think in their heads, oh yeah, she didn't accomplish this thing, it's already been a few years. Like, I don't want that. And so moving in silence really forces you to get those results first before you begin celebrating. You should not be celebrating too early, but that doesn't mean you should not be celebrating your wins at all. Like, when I first got monetized on YouTube last year, I was so happy. I didn't really say anything to anybody. I went out and I celebrated. I went to dinner with my boyfriend and my sister, and it was so fun because we went out, we enjoyed, we had a great night, and then afterwards, then I made content about it, and then I was like, hey, I went to dinner with my sister and my boyfriend, and we celebrated that I got monetized on YouTube, etc. Like, I literally celebrated that win because I was so proud of myself, but I didn't make it this like really, really big thing, because I feel like the real reward in life comes from actually completing the thing it is that you want, not validation, not getting early recognition. You are working almost like it's in the dark, and then you let your results speak for themselves. And I don't know if this is just because like how I was raised, or just because of the way that I see things now on social media, but I really feel like a lot of people want this early validation. They want people to think, oh yeah, she's building this, she's working on that, but we're not seeing the results. Like, let your results speak for themselves, and learn the value of quiet, consistent action. Because a lot of people also think just because they're not seeing the late nights or the early mornings, or you working out, or you showing up for your business, editing, and all of those things, like, because people are not in your life 24/7 and watching you and seeing everything it is that you're doing on a daily or a weekly basis, doesn't mean that what you're doing is not working or that it's not validated. Like, there have been so many late nights and early mornings and times where I've just been scrambling to get content together, or finishing my homework as fast as I can in college to try to film and edit a video. Like, I was doing and juggling so many different things, and it sometimes feels like you want people to know that so that you can get that sense of validation, but it's like, don't feel that way. Like, try not to. I know it's easier said than done, but just because you're showing up consistently and it's being done quietly and no one knows about it, doesn't mean that you're not working as hard. Like, just because you're not posting that you're working out every day, or that you're editing every day, or that you're staying up, just because people don't see those days and those nights does not mean it's not working. So just keep going. Number 4 is eliminating outside pressure. So I've obviously been talking about this a lot through this episode, which is people not being your biggest supporter, people not wanting to see you win. And unfortunately, this can actually be a hard truth, and not everybody wants to see you win. Not everybody wants to be your biggest fan or be your biggest cheerleader and be on the sidelines watching you go. A lot of people can tend to be jealous because they're seeing you going after your dreams and your goals, and they're too afraid to go and do the thing it is that they want. So the next best thing and the easiest thing for them to do is to just make fun of you, to just be like, who does this girl think she is, to cause drama, to cause gossip, to spread fake news or whatever. Like, a lot of people, you would really be surprised, pretend to be supporters to your face, and then behind the scenes they're saying things. And even though I'm speaking from experience, I don't want you to also think that your best friend or whoever is supporting you is not a supporter, because that is absolutely not true. Like, there's just certain people that you can tell there's an undertone with what it is that they're saying. Like, I remember over the summer, like literally this summer, there was this person that I went to high school with, and I was at this like hangout, and they came up to me like talking about this advertisement that I was in, and they were like, oh yeah, like you were with this person. And I was like, what is Pamela doing in there? Like, this girl's like a TikTok or whatever. And it's just like, I see the undertone of what you're saying, and it's very condescending. Like, you're not complimenting me that I landed one of the biggest campaigns of my entire life. You are saying it in a funny, judgmental way, when it's like, you wouldn't even have the guts to post a TikTok or do what it is that I do. You wouldn't even last a full day with all the things it is that I'm juggling. So don't come and say those things when it's really unnecessary. A lot of people will sometimes not want to see you win. And when you have these private moves and you're just focusing on you and what it is that you want to do, you're limiting the chances of people interfering. You're limiting the drama and the gossip and the unnecessary competition. Like, a lot of people also think that we're in a competition with other people. Like, your biggest competition is yourself, and I just made a whole YouTube video about that if you do want to watch on my main channel. And like, at the end of the day, you're just competing with the version of you from yesterday and the day before that. You are not competing with other people, because at the end of the day, you just want to be a better version of yourself. You want to be 1% better than who you were yesterday. People are not going to be able to attack what it is that they don't know. So when you just keep going and growing and building and working on what it is that you want, people are literally going to have nothing to say, because you're just doing you. And at the end of the day, that's what you should always be doing, is just doing you, just having that tunnel vision and focusing on what it is that you want, because that, like I said, at the end of the day is the most important thing. But when people start to get jealous and they start to create this like weird competition, or they start to look at your social media and like never interact with it, they never engage, but they know everything it is that you're doing, they know all your moves, like, those are the people that you genuinely should like not really be associating with, or even start to distance yourself from, because there's definitely something shady that like has to be happening on the back end. Because it's just weird that like people know so much about you and you don't even know anything that's going on in their own life. But just because you choose to share your journey and post things online doesn't mean that like that gives people the right to want to start saying like weird things to you. Like, again, even though I am speaking from experience on a lot of these things, it does not mean that everybody in your life can be doing that or is doing that. But like I said, what people don't know, they can't talk about, they can't attack in a way. So just keep your tunnel vision and just keep doing what it is that you are doing, because the less people know, the better. The last and final tip for this episode is knowing when to share versus when to keep things to yourself. So there is a difference between secrecy and also more strategic privacy. I know I said before that I build in public and I show what I'm doing out there and I document it. Like, for example, wanting to be on Forbes 30 under 30, I talk about that a lot on my social media. I have a whole post about it in my newsletter. I have a YouTube video about how I'm going to be on that list. I talk about it on my TikTok. Like, I'm very active about it. But like I said before, there is a difference because I don't want to keep it a secret. I am very strategic about what it is that I talk about, because I'm confident in how I show up about it online. I don't just post the goal and then let people laugh about it. I actually have a plan and I have steps with everything it is that I announce or that I do, because I am serious about it and I'm so serious about everything it is that I do. And so when you announce certain things, or when you talk about certain things, or even make content about certain things it is that you want to accomplish, you are in progress with it. You are confident, and that's why you're talking about it or you're sharing it. When you just talk and don't actually do anything, that's when things start to look a little bit iffy. But having this silent move, like having this privacy, is just always going to be better at the end of the day, because like I said before, people are not going to have anything to talk about, they're not going to have anything to say, they're not going to have anything to gossip or create drama about. Like a lot of people are not going to see the struggle, and that is something that again is just between you and what it is that you are doing. Like there have been so many nights where I am just like, I don't know what it is that I'm doing, I don't know if I'm going to get to where it is that I want to be, and I always have my moments of doubt. Like that is completely normal to doubt yourself and what it is that you're doing, especially when you don't have people around you that are doing what it is that you want. Like I always knew from a very young age I wanted to do something with business and entrepreneurship. I don't have any millionaire, gazillion, billionaire people around me. Like I have always dreamed of having a very big successful business, but that doesn't mean that I was surrounded or have ever been surrounded by people with really wealthy businesses or with a lot of money. It's just something that I was like, I want to accomplish this. So when you're not around that kind of energy or that environment, you are obviously going to doubt yourself. And it was the same thing with me and my social media. I was not surrounded by influencers or content creators. I would just watch them online. And because of their content and seeing all the things it is that they were accomplishing, that gave me this motivation to be like, if they can do it, so can I. And so having people online that you look up to, I feel like can be really helpful, especially when you are building something in private, because you can study a lot of successful people's moves. You can read books about what they've wrote about, you can read articles online, you can listen to podcast interviews, and you can really gather their routines, their tips, their habits, their characteristics, their unique things, like what makes them different from other people, and have these role models, have these people that are your motivation to get you to where it is that you want to be. I have so many people that I look up to, especially in the female founder space, like Allison Ellsworth, who is the founder of Poppy, Barbara Corcoran, who is a shark on Shark Tank, Emma Grade, who works with Skims, and Good American. Like there are so many women that I love and that I really aspire to be in my own way, and I don't tend to look at the outside noise. I don't tend to look at external things that are not on the path of where it is that I want to be. So when you keep to yourself, when you have this more strategic privacy, like you build in public and you share certain things, people know, okay, yeah, this is what she's building, but they don't actually know any of the real deep-rooted things that you keep within your heart. Like there's so many things that I really want to accomplish because of personal reasons. Maybe it's because of things with my family, things that happened growing up or things that I saw growing up. Like people are never going to know that, so you can let them judge all it is that they want, but you know the truth at the end of the day, and you know why it is that you are accomplishing what it is that you want to do. So keep and stay rooted in that vision. Keep going, even if there is nothing around you that is showing that you are going to get to where it is that you want to be, because I promise you, at the end of the day, you are going to get it done. Like it's 100% going to happen. You just have to keep going. Thanks for tuning in to Booked, Busy, and Building, where we keep it real, stay growing, and are always showing up for ourselves. Remember that you're not behind, you're in the middle of becoming, so keep building what matters, and the life you want is already yours. And until next time, stay booked, stay busy, and keep building.